My name is Arun Kishi. I'm here to present a speech on defensive driving, which is a part of my speech class on a speech regarding persuasive speech. So I have a little scenario where it was back in Dallas in 2015. I was driving there. It was a snowy night where the weather was bad and there was a icy weather warning. And I was driving, making everything serious. Like I was taking care of the front side, the back side, and side. Everything I was like observing the situation. At the same time, a car just flew by past me and it just started making donuts and crashed into a divider in the highway, which obviously is the driver's fault. He didn't take care of the environment that he was driving at the moment. It was icy weather and he was just driving speed. So that scenario made me question myself that are the people concerning defensive driving as one of the important aspects or not. So I'm here to give you, my audience more information about defensive driving, which obviously will persuade them to follow defensive driving. In my speech today, I have four sections divided into four sections, where the first one will be introduction to defensive driving. Second, key factor what affects the defensive driving or like driving skills of a person. Third, what the driver will be risking if they don't follow defensive driving. And third one being what my next step of my audience will be. So for my information, I have much information from the Department of Motor Vehicle Organizations, Infowar.com, icebike.org, and ops.gov. And my visuals are some pictures from Google. So what is defensive driving and why is it necessary? Defensive driving is a self-protective way of driving which keeps the driver in more safe and also protects the person who are sharing the road. Also, it is a course name that which people can take and then reduce their insurance bill and also earn some points and be a good driver. What it does is it helps us protect the person driving the car and the one who are sharing the road, and also it provides more beneficial in the financial state, like you don't have higher insurance bill and everything. So we know what defensive driving means. Now let's look at the factors that needs to be considered. The first and foremost being the weather. So while you're driving on the road, the first thing you need to consider is what kind of weather you are driving on. If it's snowy, then you need to reduce the speed. If it's watery, reduce the speed. If it's like windy, then you need to more focus on the steering wheels than driving on the speed. So usually weather is the most important factor. According to data by dot.government, 1,259,000 accidents have been reported, which caused almost around 6,000 deaths, which is a pretty big number for a motor vehicle accident in a year. So it also, the second factor is human carelessness. Nowadays, most of people carry smartphones. They just look on their phone and start driving, texting, and using GPS and everything. So, which is one of the major factors causing an accident. And 4.5 to $6 billion has been collected only on speeding tickets, which obviously shows that people have been neglecting the speeding limit of the highways and driving like crazy. So, if we do wish to drive defensive, then what do we have to do, or like what are we risking if we don't drive defensive? I'll be presenting that on my next. Risks are the first and foremost, we'll be risking our lives that we get once in a life. We only live once, so that thing we'll be risking. The second thing we'll be risking is a lot of money, maybe of the insurance bill, maybe of the medical bills. If we fall in an accident or if we got into an accident, there will be a lot of financial situation that we have to deal with. So you came up with the decision that you don't want to take those risks and you want to be a defensive driver, then what do you have to do? The first thing, you have to analyze the situation. So I have a little picture that shows it's a car and it has an arrow pointed on east, west, north and south, which is pretty much showing that you have to take care of you have to look in front, you have to look at back and side and every other way possible. And I have a second picture that has a bunch of street road signs. So you need to know what those signs speaks and what are they for. Usually the signs that has written in it, and usually it's just the sign that tells you, like for the stop, it's not color, but usually on the road the stop sign would be red. Red means danger, so you need to make sure that you are watching those signs carefully, which will limit the number of accidents we fall into. And also the other thing we can do is limit the distance, safe distance. Like, if you're on the speed of 60 on the highway, you don't want to follow the other car like really close. They don't have time to react if you have to brake suddenly. So like maintaining a safe distance with the speed in concern would be another beneficial way. Also, the next thing would be plan B. Like, let's say if something will occur while you're driving, then the plan B that you will be making would be another beneficial way. And also limiting the distraction, like while you're driving, limit the time that you text, limit the time that you use GPS and other things that will distract you, will be very beneficial for you to be a good driver. I have another picture that just shows the distraction that normal people have. Like, this is a little picture that shows there are a lot of bunch of children playing on the back seat, and there is probably quarreling wife on the side seat. So which is obviously not a good thing while you're driving, being distracted with the kids and with someone who is quarreling right by you. And the other picture I have is a person carrying a cell phone on one hand and a burger on the other hand, which is not an obviously good sign. So which gets you in a distraction. At the end, defensive driving cannot harm you; it only helps you. So on the conclusion of my speech, I explained the situation, like what is the defensive driving, key factors to be considered, and risks and results of defensive driving, and how to be a defensive driver. So with my speech today, I want my audience to follow defensive driving as their next step while they are driving. And I have been practicing defensive driving for 3 years, and I'm proud of it. Hope my audience will also follow this defensive driving. Thank you.